let me tell you one thing. I'm pretty sure that dog is Mephisto. Alright, so WandaVision was a show that I was very excited for just by the premise alone, just by watching the trailer for it. It was very intriguing to see a Marvel show like this, and I'm pretty sure past Endgame, WandaVision was the first one of its kind really to experiment with the MCU in a way like this. And was it all good? No. But most of it was really good and very emotionally investing. Can I just say, out of all the characters in the MCU, Wanda has been one of my most favorite simply because, I mean, come on, man, she nearly killed Thanos where Captain Marvel didn't even get that close. Just to be completely real with you, Wanda is more powerful than Captain Marvel. There, I said it, alright? It's true. Let's just get this out of the way. Sword was not one of my favorite parts of this show at all. It was actually one of the most boring. The only thing that makes it interesting, at least, or at least entertaining, is Kat Dennings' character, yes, from Thor. It was really fun seeing her back. Also, actually, Monica Rambeau was pretty interesting, and you know what, actually I've narrowed it down to this. It's the head honcho guy. I can't even remember his name for the life of me, but it doesn't really matter because I don't think we'll be seeing him anytime soon in the MCU. Whenever it focused on him, it just was not that interesting. If the show focused on Sword too much, then my interest started to wane, and that was never a good thing. However, there were some characters in Sword that I did have a connection with, that I did care about, that being Monica Rambeau. Jimmy, who was fun to see, but I wouldn't really have mattered if he was in the show or not. It was just fun to see him. And I did care a lot about Kat Dennings' character, seeing her back, because she has a lot to do with the show. To be honest, I don't know that much about Monica Rambeau, but seeing her do certain things later on in the season was really, really exciting, and I know nothing about her character. It's only because of this show and watching, other people's videos on Monica Rambeau that I actually got to learn a bit more about the character. But at the time of watching this show, I didn't know anything, and it was really cool seeing her develop, if you know what I mean. Now, one thing that this show did that really pissed me off, and I'm sure you know what it is, it was the return of Evan Peters' character, Quicksilver. What the hell, Marvel? What the fuck? Why? Why would you cast Evan Peters in a Marvel project knowing that so many people love him as Quicksilver over your version of Quicksilver, and just have his last name be Boner? I don't know what they were thinking. I hope at some point they'll just, retcon that and actually say that it was Quicksilver, but I don't know. Anyway, with those negatives out of the way, I want to get to the real meat of this show, which is, of course, Wanda. And Vision, but mostly Wanda. Wanda, I swear to you, has gone through more shit in the MCU than anyone. Actually, no, that's a lie. Peter Parker. Okay, so maybe not more, but comparatively speaking, Peter Parker has been through more. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves. Putting that aside, I was right there with Wanda at that scene, in that scene where she falls to her knees, where she's at the house that Vision and her were eventually going to build together, but never came to pass. This show felt like the culmination of everything that they were building up to her with the previous movies like Avengers Age of Ultron, even Captain America Civil War, and especially Avengers Infinity War. It all felt like it was building up to this. And if you think about it, this show is just a precursor to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But it's weird that for me personally, the previous movies in the MCU felt like they were building up to this show, actually, whenever it focused on Wanda. This is the culmination of all of her tragedy and all of her loss and all of her pain come out in the worst ways. You definitely don't agree with what she's doing, but at the same time you can understand and more than definitely relate to what she's going through, or empathize with what she's going through. You're there with her, you relate, you empathize with her victims as well. Are they really victims though? Like, they weren't physically harmed. Yes, they were mentally harmed a lot, but anyway, can I just say it was really fun jumping through the different time periods of TV with this show, going from black and white to color, and then the aspect ratio changing. And again, like my previous Marvel review, everything was on point and perfect for each time period. It felt like I was watching a show from that time period. The show reveals a certain person to be the show's villain, but if you think about it, she was not the villain. I'm talking about Agatha Harkness. If you haven't seen the show, then whatever. But Agatha Harkness is the show's villain, but she's not really the villain. And when it comes to Agatha, I thought she was an okay villain. I didn't think... Like Sword, actually, I didn't think there was anything special about her. It just felt like, you know, an opponent that had to be there. Which is why I'm not too excited for Agatha getting her own show. Like, really? Like, no, I don't think anyone asks. Like, yeah, audiences loved her. But for me personally, I didn't see anything special with her character. Like, yes, she was a fun opponent. It was fun watching her go up against Wanda, and then Wanda revealing herself to be the Scarlet Witch, especially in that episode where Agatha takes Wanda through her past and we realize, oh shit, she's the Scarlet Witch. That was cool. See, anything to do with Wanda or Vision or her kids even, that's where the show is at its best. Yes, it has good characters like Monica Rambeau or Kat Dennings' character. I can't remember the character's name. But if I'm being honest, I'm just not excited for Agatha's show at all. Yeah, I will watch it and I will review it, but I'm not excited for it at all. But if it turns out to be a good show, great, but I wasn't asking for it. That sounds really weird coming out of my mouth. Anyway, that is my review for WandaVision. I am actually excited for this show getting a season 2. That is if we get a season 2. That is if Wanda is even still alive. We don't know. Spoilers for future movies. In summary, I did like the show a lot. I loved it mostly when it focused on Wanda. Anything to do with her, I was right there. I actually cried quite a few times when it focused on what she was going through, which is not easy to do, let me just tell you. But I've always been invested in Wanda as a character, and this show just solidified that for me, that Wanda is one of the MCU's best villains, heroes, characters. What is she? I actually don't know what she is yet at the moment. Anyway, that's my review. I'll see my review for the next Marvel thing was probably the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Wow, okay, so it wasn't that bad. Whenever it focused on him, it wasn't that interesting. I can't speak. Why am I pointing at the camera? It all felt like it was beating... Can't speak. And this show... what?